Pay for play.
If more women started asking for their abortion money up front, less men would want to have sex with them. Whenever I'm counseling young promiscuous girls and I can't get them to see that their low self-esteem and low self-worth is what is contributing to the fact that they're having sex so easily, I quantify it. I tell them, don't have sex with a boy until he spends $1,000. So it slows their brain down. They're going to have to start paying attention and adding it up, because I can't get them to process feelings because they grew up in an unhealthy environment. I can't get them to process boundaries because they don't know any. It's taking them some time. But what most people can understand is money. So when you tell a 16, 17-year-old girl, don't have sex with that boy, and I mean boy, not a grown man, a boy, until he spends $1,000 on you, it slows them down.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. Hey y'all, I stumbled across this video and honestly, it disturbed me. Okay, it disturbed me on so many different levels. And I mean, you saw the teaser, but trust it gets worse.
And when they start adding up the math, when they start adding up their little Wendy's and McDonald's and their little dates, and they're realizing that it's not adding up to $1,000, it helps slow them down. So the same thing to grown men too.
I kind of get where she's coming from with, oh, well, they don't understand this and they don't understand that, so I put it in these terms to get them to kind of slow down. However, when you're talking to young girls who are traumatized, young girls who have no boundaries, young girls that can't rationalize because that's part of the problem, not being able to rationalize, and you're telling them to basically give their vagina monetary value, what you're doing is you're coaching them into being a lady of the night. That is essentially what you're doing here. Because if they are already dealing with the struggles of like a traumatic childhood, you telling them to monetize their sex is not going to have the effect that you think it is. Oh, well, these young boys, they can't afford it. Okay, well, what do you think is going to happen at that point? Well, they can't afford it. So then you put them in the pipeline to want to sell it. That's what you're doing. You're coaching these girls to sell it. And that's so sick to me. Rather than dealing with the traumas that they're having, rather than dealing with the fact that they don't have boundaries and working with them to teach them what a boundary is and why they should have it, no, let's just go for the easy route. For you, this seems like the easy route. If they can't spend this much money on you, then don't give them no kitty cat. You're basically telling them to be ladies of the night, and they're teenagers. And honestly, it's very predatory, because if this is the advice that you're giving to these young ladies, understand you are setting them up to fail. Because if they are thinking in monetary value when it comes to their kitty cat at a young age, as a teenager, and they continue down that path, they're never going to find someone that's going to love them for them. They're not. You're setting them up to be lonely and alone. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's lonely and alone too. Maybe she's not. Sometimes these married females be out here giving the worst advice to the young girls, because even married women still feel that sense of competition with other women. So they try to sabotage with terrible advice. You do not tell girls that are already troubled, hey, monetize your vagina. That's just going to send them down the rabbit hole of even more toxic behavior.
The same thing to grown men too. Don't sleep with that man until he spends $5,000. Imagine if the fruit of that union, there's a baby, and you can't even afford to go to the clinic because he don't have it, you don't have it. Then what? The baby's gonna cost more than $1,000. The baby's gonna cost more than $5,000. So if you collect the fee up front and you say, you know what, we're engaging in sexual activity, as a result, a baby can come out of there. For my peace of mind, I need to know that the funds are available, that I can take care of it up front. So I'm gonna need you to give me $1,000 so I can have it before we continue.
Now, this is just a side note. I can't stand when people talk and eat at the same time. You couldn't wait to eat your snack until after you filmed your video. This is just very low class, low brow behavior. Like, let's be so for real here. Finish your snack and then film your video, or film your video and then finish your snack. There's no reason for you to be hopping on here, smacking your mouth. Like, don't nobody want to see that. Don't nobody want to hear that. It's disgusting and it's very classless. It's tasteless. Just like the advice that she's giving is extremely tasteless. I completely agree. I understand the concept of making sure that you are financially stable so that if you bring a child into this world, you can take care of them. I don't disagree with that at all. However, the approach and the way she's formatting this, you're taking something that's true and then manipulating it to justify something that is terrible. You're trying to justify telling men to pay for it. If you can't pay for this, then that means you can't pay for a baby. Look, this is what you call a reach. This is what you call a reach. This is what you call a trick bag. You're trying to convince people that this cause or whatever it is that you're saying is righteous. Yeah, the children, if you can't afford the child, then yes, the child. Him giving you that money isn't about preparing for a child. It's not. It's not even going to show that you can actually prepare for and pay for a child. Because yeah, what if he can give you that $1,000, but children cost way more than $1,000. So it's not even like a real good test to make sure he has the finances able to pay for a child if that were to happen. Oh, I'm gonna need my money up front before we have sex. That is straight up lady of the night behavior. You can't convince me otherwise. You're basically telling this man that he has to purchase the kitty cat before he can have access to it. And guess how he's gonna treat you? He's gonna treat you like he purchased you, because that's exactly what he did. Shout out to Justin. He said, this woman out here telling broads to sell tickets to their vagina. Absolutely ridiculous. You are literally coaching women to be streetwalkers. And you're not gonna be able to build a real relationship going up to men and saying, hey, if you can't spend this much money on me or give me $1,000 and I'll sleep with you. Like, you cannot build a good relationship with a good man talking like that. The only type of man that you are going to attract with that type of rhetoric and that type of demeanor would be the type of man that wants to buy you and then have his way with you, not commit to you, not turn you into a wife. You really got to be careful, because this is going to set you up to be looked at like a whore, like a high class whore. I'm barely saying high class just because you're not charging $5. So it makes you look like, sound like an escort, because that's essentially what you are. And what good man is going to be with you because you said, oh yeah, if you want to sleep with me, you got to give me $5,000. You got to give me $1,000. No good man is going to want to be with you. They're going to see you as a streetwalker and treat you accordingly.
If he has a problem with that, then you don't need to be having sex with him. If he tries to tell you, oh, well, we don't know, we could use condom, we could do this, we could, no. I need to have the deposit available and saved. So should or if when I can go ahead and go take care of that. If there's an argument or there's a disconnect that ensues, you need to walk off. I found that the results is amazing. It causes women to be less promiscuous when they have something tangible and a benchmark, because most women are goal oriented.
They're less promiscuous. Or it's that they're now streetwalkers. Like, what are we talking about here? The mental gymnastics to make this okay is just absolutely ridiculous at this point. Oh, well, they're less promiscuous. No, now they're just selling it. Now this is just a side hustle for them to get money. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. If I were a man and a woman that I'm talking to and I'm thinking that we're vibing, I'm thinking that we're having a good connection, and she says, oh, if you want to sleep with me, that'll be $5,000. I'd be like, what in the long game hustle is this? You've been chatting me up so that you could squeeze me for some money? I thought we had a connection. And see, here's the thing. Once you start monetizing your vagina, then that's exactly what you are, a streetwalker. Because if you are with somebody because you love them, if you are with somebody because you care about them, because y'all vibe and the connection and the value system and all of that is where it needs to be, then it's not like you're going to need them to give you money up front to somehow prove that they can take care of a child. You will have other indicators. This is manipulation 101, because you're getting these girls and these women to transition themselves into streetwalkers without even knowing it. They're behaving like escorts over there in, Las Vegas? They don't even realize that they sound like paid whores. No good man is going to take you seriously if you pop out with, well, if you want to sleep with me, you got to give me some money. Well, it makes them less promiscuous. That's what you think.
When you give them a benchmark to hit and they realize that benchmark is not being hit because they're not confused by emotions, they get better results.
All that means is that these young girls, these young women, they're just going to seek older men. This is literally a pipeline to get little girls to try to date older men. That's all this is, because that's the only person who'll be able to afford that. Someone their age, if we're talking about the teenagers, isn't going to be able to afford $1,000, which is weird in the first place, to even be having a conversation about a 16-year-old sleeping with somebody because they gave them $1,000, because they spent $1,000 on, like, even just thinking like that is making me sick to my stomach. But what that's going to do is put them in the pipeline of trying to get with an older man, because only an older man would be able to afford something like that. So this isn't fixing the problem. It's a Band-Aid. That's really what it is. It's a Band-Aid, because in the long run, you done messed up this girl's psyche even more. So while she's dealing with the traumas that she's had from childhood and the lack of boundaries and not understanding emotions, but now she's also monetizing her vagina, as per what you said. Like, what are we talking about here? You made it even worse. This is fatherless activity. I'm sorry. It's fatherless activity and left behind baby mama activity. Like, this is absolutely disgusting. There are ways to get young girls to see their value, to see their worth, but you can't take the shortcut, because this is what it is. It's a shortcut that doesn't actually yield the results that you're looking for, which would be for the young lady to heal whatever it is that's going on the inside. Telling her to monetize, it's just trading one problem for another without actually getting rid of the other problem. It's just you've adopted another problem that supersedes the new problem. Like, it's just a layer of problems at this point. So whereas they had the two problems of not understanding their emotions and boundaries, now they have another problem where they're monetizing their vagina and they're basically a streetwalker. Get to the root of the problem. I'm so sick of people kicking the can down the road. Oh, I can't get them to understand this. I can't get well, maybe you're just not a good therapist, or whatever it is your title is. Maybe you're just not good at your job. So you lean on something that's not even a good Band-Aid. Like, it's not even a good Band-Aid. It's just, let me have a different problem than the other problems that I'm having, but it's all the same result. They're going to end up lonely, ran through, worn out, not being able to find a real commitment with a good man. The only type of men they'll be able to attract are the ones that want to pay for it. And the thing is, when a man pays for it, then they feel like they can do whatever the hell they want with you. So you're putting them in the pipeline to get abused. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole video? Do you agree with me where it's like, yo, this broad is tweaking and she's setting these girls up to fail? And not only that, she needs to close her mouth when she's chewing her food, because that is disgusting. Or do you disagree with me where it's like, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.